Let's go! We're done! Finally go sleep. Hey guys, Jacob, and I, against all odds, did something that I thought I would never achieve ever again in any game. I'm getting older, have a real life, family, don't have that much time for games, even though I spend a lot of my time with games. Last time I achieved something like this was probably in 2004, so almost 20 years ago, in the game, in an ARPG called Sacred, and I scored top, I believe top 10 hardcore leaderboard there. First ones who made it to level 100 there. So what I did today is that I've achieved level 100 as a third person in Europe, actually, on the Europe server. Third. I'm first in my class. Not updated here yet, but as you can see I'm level 100 already. In this video I would like to show you how I progressed the season, how I leveled the character. To be able to do that, I will actually have to log to another account so we can check the progress day by day. And this is all we need pretty much. This is my character here, already level 100, so this is how it looks after I leveled the 100. I mean, the gear might look expensive, but I managed to save for it over time. Actually can't check prices on this character, that's sad, but I will try to remember. So the crown was around 400 FE. Amulet I just found during story. Belt with this corruption was around 400 FE. Both rings around 80 each. Non-corrupted, just flat. And I have this shield that goes under 10 probably. Armor goes around 250, but I managed to snipe it for 14. That was luck on my side, but I would buy it anyway, even for the 250. I had the currency for that. And after a long while, I was figuring out how to put in like more speed. And I decided to use a claw, this claw with isomorphic arms. Support the damage of my minions. Until that, I was using X, and we will check the progression now. So from day 1, in EU, sadly, day 1 started at 2 AM, so I'll probably not be able to find myself anywhere here. Yeah, so we will start from day 2. And from day 2, I was level 94 after my first day of playing. This is the state of the character after 1 day of playing. I was using 3 spider tanks. With the generic gear, I focused on energy shield because that allows you to actually reserve an aura on your life when you need it. It isn't necessary at the beginning, but after you get your rings, that will become the possibility there to get more damage. Because the generic double interlocking soul, I'll manage to corrupt this myself. As you can see, I dropped that's the first hammer I ever dropped from like the second quest boss, the first dwarf boss that you encounter during the story. I corrupted it, was lucky, so that helped me a lot. But there's no energy yet. I got second hammer as well. Low energy here. This is pretty like I just found this and put like enchant on it. Yeah, I did not bought anything. I just found on all these items. This belt sold at the end for around 20 FE. So that was something that helped me a lot during the leveling, because the free agility blessings just give you 18% attack speed, which is a lot when you're leap slamming around. And 2 generic rings with like minion damage and resistances. Plus 4 command helped a bit at the beginning, but not necessary. So these were my skills. 3 times spiders, 5 link, because not enough energy to put more of them to them. Simple dark gate with increased duration. Later on I got rid of the extended duration because I found it not necessary, because the main focus of the dark gate skill is to generate command for you. So just reduce its cooldown to as low as possible and just generate your command through that. I was using Leap Slam to get around. I used Hardened for a long time, but what you can do is use the Recklessness support to get even more attack speed and jump faster. And I used just generic auras, some elemental resistances, physical damage for the minions and projectile damage for the minions. And of course, summon Thunder Spirit for the huge attack speed buff that it provides. And some auto defense setup with protection field at the beginning. Later on I've put in delayed pain as well to the setup to get even tankier. Since I went with spiders and I wanted as much attack speed as possible, I went with Alchemist to be able to summon the spirit for free. So it reserves no mana with this trait. And I've gone with Warlock to get more cooldown reduction through attack speed and cast speed, which scales through that spirit as well, to get to the state when you are able to keep your overload up the entire time on your minions. Is the main focus of the build. Just keep overload up on the minions so they stay alive, basically. As you can see, after the first day I got overload effect, which increases the effect of the overload, obviously. Some command generation to get the minions more power. Overload effect again, overload effect again. The reason I used overload effect is that I got so many cooldown reduction from other sources that I did not need to get overload cooldown reduction or overload duration. So overload effect there. Overload effect gives your minion attack speed, critical strike chance, like everything you could think of. For the slates, I just used whatever dropped. Never bought anything, so this is probably the cheapest moto build that you will find in the leaderboard, and I ended up first. Many people told me that spiders are dead. They are far from that. Like, I managed to get number 1 with it, so they work, guys. Their clear is insane. Still, even though they shoot just 1 projectile at the beginning, and the projectile does not pierce if you are not able to keep your command over 30. But their clear is still there. Leave me nothing to lose. So just generic slates I found around during the leveling process that dropped from the cube. For the pets here, I'm using the EXP fall-off, which are the ones with XP balance stack. You can check it here maybe. Yes. So you are looking for survival pets that the XP balance here. I use this one, then there is one. I have this one. If you don't have the legendary one, just to use some other one that increases your XP gain. It also works. The XP balance is the best for leveling up after you get around level like 90. This one is the best one you can use. And obviously you don't want to die. If you are dying a lot, then there are pets that gives you EXP protection. That makes you not lose EXP when you die. Basically, if you scale it up to 100%. If you manage to get to the point where you are not dying in your maps, EXP balance is the way to get EXP, at least. Looks like this. XP fall off caused by level difference between the player and the map. So at level 90 the difference between you and your tier 7 map is like 8 or 7 levels, depending if the map is level 82 or 83. So that negates it completely. On day 3 I started to use only 2 spiders because I managed to get my 2 rings. Those are pretty much the first 2 things you want to save up for. The first few days they were around 40, then they went up to 50. And at the end I was buying them for 80. So try to get them as soon as possible. Those 2 rings will allow you to actually use only 2 spider skills, because they give plus max synthetic troop minion quantity. So that allowed me to use only 2 spider skills, which allows you to put in machine army, Mass Effect and whatever else, which increases your minions attack speed, basically. This is damage a lot, lasts for 3 seconds without duration increases from your skill tree, so yeah, it's around 4-second buff, basically. The rest is pretty much the same, I just got more energy. Let's check the gear. So still the same helmet, just got more energy. Still the same armor, gloves. I just got more energy on the gear, basically. I bought the base version of the Light Hunter belt, as I was focusing on energy shield. When you have energy shield, you need to have a mean of actually regenerating it, and that's what this belt provides. So basically, once your energy shield regen starts, it cannot be stopped, and that's the main focus of this belt. This belt actually makes you able to clear the Statue of Might at early stages. So yeah, that's the reason I took it. I wanted to clear the Statue of Might. What I also changed were those 2 interlocking souls. I took this shield, which reduces your life, but I was focusing on energy shield mainly, so the life did not bother me that much. It adds physical damage to your minions. I mean, it's almost as strong as an interlocking soul at the end. But I also managed, I was using the shield with interlocking soul for almost a day, but I dropped this X at one point, which got 3 tier 1 mods pretty much, and added a lot of physical damage. And at this point I started to use isomorphic arms to provide the weapon bonus to my minions. And in the large slate I was aiming to buy the other talent, but I got this from my first tier 7 Time Lord or Timekeeper. So that helped me a bit, because you have like 40% chance to block attack damage, and this gives you 45% chance to block spell damage once you block attack damage. So this gave me some survivability that I needed to actually progress further. Skill trees are still the same, just God of Machines, Alchemist and Warlock. And the second trait you want is the Mighty Guard on the large slate, but I got it later on when they get cheaper actually. They were really pricey at the point where I needed them. They were around 250 FE, and like a day later I bought it for like, I don't know, 70 or 80 FE. I saved a lot there. Slates are still just what I dropped around. I dropped some minion command one. I was focusing on the command a lot because I wanted to keep the 30 command up, so the minion, so the spider projectile could pierce. So still the command here, and I bought 3 minor memories here with command generation as well. The other slates are just generic, whatever dropped. Block chance, some aura effect here, minion skill level that I was using until the end, but still I dropped it, so never bought anything. This one actually helped me a lot early. The -10 skill cost. That helped me with my mana reservation actually. I could reserve more mana than without it. So I was second, day 3, day 4. That was Sunday, I believe. I wasn't home, I wasn't playing a lot, so I probably got somewhere lower. The build probably did not change. Oh, it did change. I bought Fiend Crown. I was saving up for Fiend Crown for quite a while. Bought one for 400 FE at the end. Just bought the cheapest one there was, pretty much. With a good sealed mana roll. The sealed mana roll is really important there. You want at least the 9%. There was one crown that I did not manage to buy. I was missing like 20 FE to buy it, that had the mana reservation in the implicit. Someone bought it before me, before I was able to farm the 20 FE that I was missing. I bought precise auras after I bought the Fiend Crown. Precise auras are actually a big change. Precise projectiles is a huge change for your spiders, because it gives them 50% chance to gain +2 additional projectiles. So it basically gives them more AoE, and it was around 70 FE as well. That was pretty costly at the time I was buying it. Precise erosion enhancement was cheap, like 5 FE, and weapon amplification was around 60. And I'm still using protection field. Precise elemental resistance, obviously, for the +1 max resistance. At protection field, what I found, it is a summon tech spell, or summon tech spell, and your overload actually gets used when you use a summon spell. So this automates your overload generation to a degree. Once you get enough cooldown reduction for it, it automates your overload fully. You don't have to press any buttons to keep your minions overload all the time. That's all that changed on this day, just the helmet and the auras. Day 5, I got to level 97, precise auras with Selfless. I reserved all the auras on mana at this point, so to get more HP. I was still using the protection field here, and I had my full HP open to damage, so this felt really nice at the Trial of Might, when it eats all your energy shield but you still have 1.6k life. Survive it. I got some more slates from actually gambling them. So minus sealed mana ones, minion skill level, that's the one I got already, and here is some command generation with nothing else pretty much. So day 6, level 98. This was the day that changed a lot for me. I bought the shield and the armor at the same time. I was looking for +2 armor at first and was planning to use it to upgrade the build later on, but the shield gives you -1 synthetic troop quantity, and I was thinking, since the +2 armor costs like 500 FE, I could look just for +1, and it would let me use this shield, which generates command and gives me plus minion skill level. So it is much better than the other shield, which reduces your life by 60%. So this actually was a huge upgrade. As a 73% life upgrade, pretty much. And the armor also gives you 40% max life as well. So this put me to 3k HP and 5k energy shield, which is 8k effective life actually. So this was a huge defensive buff for me at that point. And at that point, with 5k energy shield, I was looking for a source of more regen. So I bought this belt, which increases your energy shield if it gets lower. And that lets you stay in the Statue of Might pretty much all the time. The belt also converts 20% of your life to energy shield, which increases your energy shield obviously. And the amulet gets 10% of your max life, your energy shield as well. So as you can see, I was stuck in a lot of energy shield here. And I also was looking for a way to swap the X out and get something that would let me use Pyro Strike. And this is what I found on the trade for like 90 FE. Finished my slates, just changed the shape of a few ones that I found to fit them all in. There's nothing special here really. You will find a lot a lot better slates on the other motos there. I changed this somewhere on the way for the Mighty Guard. Once it got lower to like around 60 FE, I got this. Gives me spell block and energy shield, pretty much the other mods are useless. Once I got to around 150 million DPS, I was focusing on defense mainly. For the belt to work, you need your energy shield to start to regen, but I use 4-star to start my energy shield regen, which after it starts cannot be interrupted until your energy shield reaches your maximum. Basically, when you stay in Statue of Might, your energy shield starts dropping to like 25%, then the cooldown on the auto defense kicks in, your energy shield regen starts and it regens all the way up to the top, and then it starts dropping again. I also slot in delayed pain in. The reason for this is to basically protect me from huge single target hits that could like instantly kill me. But this setup provides you 49% injury buffer, which is basically the large hit does not give the large hit at one moment, but instead gives you the damage over time, so you can negate it through the energy shield regen actually. So that protects you from one-shots. Cooldown reduction and extended duration basically for keeping this running all the way without dropping down. Like you want to have delayed pain never drop basically. That was the main reason. To drop the Decayed to 1 link, drop the Machine Army to a 2 link, to get enough energy to actually use the cooldown reduction extended duration here. What I also swapped was the Leap Slam. I swapped it for Spiral Strike and Quick Mobility. I was trying to add more attack speed through the Precise Strike and Recklessness, but that seemed to have no effect. So I just hardened for 25% flat damage reduction there, so even more tankiness. Now we are getting to day 7, which is today, and I can basically log back in the other account, right? Can check the DPS and maybe try a map run. The character at this state is fully capable of doing like juice tier 7 maps fast, which I do not recommend doing tier 7 juiced maps. That's just wasting your currency basically. But it also is able to do non-juice tier 8s when you occasionally get your free beacon for tier 8 map, for a map on your atlas, on your map atlas. You can just do the free tier 8 with this setup. So let's start buffing them. They should go to around 200 million probably. Yeah. So you basically want to use the Dark Gate on cooldown to provide your minions with enough command so they pierce their targets throughout the map, and you want to use your machine army once it gets max stacks to provide the most effect them. Yeah, as the damage with the leveling setup, actually with the experience Pact Spirits, if I swap damage once, we can see here that the damage gets to around 550 million probably. Should get around there eventually, and that is more than enough to clear tier 8 map basically. And don't take me wrong, this is really a budget, this is just built for speed tier 7 mapping, and there's a lot of room for improvement actually. Okay, this is how fast the build moves. I will use the drop. There's just a mild damage boost here. The rest is for drop. And let's check some tier 7 map. Or tier 7 Watcher just melts, basically. Once you get enough damage to kill a Watcher in one go without it going to a phase, that's, in my opinion, enough damage to actually start blasting and focusing on defense. So once you delete the boss like this, just focus on defense if you want to level up fast, and focus on speed. You can boost it up here. You can even add some more like juice to this if you want to. It's just wasting currency basically, but I want to show you that it is capable of doing that. Even though the monsters get increased defenses when you do that. You just summon your minions at the start. You want to wait a little bit for your overload, and then you just start blasting. Just tap your Dark Gate on cooldown as the mouse skill here, and you just go forward. You don't even need to use your mecha army during the map. You can use it if you want to like kill some tankier rares faster, but it is not necessary. So that's a quick map, tier 7 map clear. This is a map boss. Instantly killed. You just go out and we can try tier 8 map now. It is even capable of clearing like juice tier 8, but that takes some practice. And you have to actually pay attention when you do that, so I can try to use the same compasses I used there. Just for example. But the problem with this is that the build is tanky, but it does not have that much damage that is needed for tier 8 yet. I mean, it does. I will clear the map, but it will take some time, right? It is not yet ready for blast in tier 8 maps. As you can see, this is the season boss. I actually screwed up, so he killed my spiders. But that's a tier 8 boss. and as you can see, it clears the juice tier 8 map just okay. But what you need to keep in mind, you never want to backtrack, because watchers start spawning behind you over the dead rares and start doing their AoEs, and you don't want to get trapped in those AoEs. Those do a lot of damage. So always go forward, never go back. I mean, if you see a loot drop back there, you can go back there, but give it a few seconds for the AoEs to actually disappear. Like this. Okay? Because if you go back there and you get caught in the hell, you will just die. Even with the defenses this build has. As you can see, I did not use golden compasses, so this is like semi-just map. But the build still clears it just fine, right? And it even kills the boss pretty fast. So, yeah. Compared to the other motos you will find in the leaderboard, like Lazy Puppet here, is the golems, and has actually insane slates. My moto is pretty much budget, was able to get the currency to get going himself. If you check the slates, they have minion levels, critical damage, all the good things, right? All skill levels. This is like... this hammer costs a fortune. Okay? This hammer could cost you like 400 FE, easily. If you manage to find one. Okay, and that's just gear physical damage, critical strike damage, and minion skill level, and it's 3000 there. So yeah, that hammer could cost you thousands. I mean, it is good, don't take me wrong, but it's insane. And its price is insane. Also, the build is not as tanky as the one I just showed you, as mine build. I have 4k HP and 6k energy shield, and capped resistances, well. As well as block chance, which this would never have because it has two-handed. Remember, I got a shield. My build is probably the cheapest one that you could find here. And it also uses spiders. Everyone else is golems. Everyone else was telling me spiders are dead. Spiders are far from dead. Okay, I guess that would be it from me for this video. I mean, would you be interested in some other character? From 1 to 100? If you would be, I will enter a poll into the description of the video. I will probably at least one more character to level 100 this season. So I would like it to be something that you guys will be interested in. So let me know in the poll. And that's it from me, guys. Bye. Stay safe. And keep playing, right? Bye. Thanks for watching.